I'll show you the guns that the highest ranking players are currently using, backed by scientific data, and the craziest gun of them all that nearly doubles the DPS of most other guns. So this will be the most detailed and data-based meta tier list you'll find for the open beta. I've done some extensive research and testing to gather this data, and some results might actually shock you. They definitely surprised me. This tier list will focus on the high rank in tournament mode and will most likely be the meta on launch. Let's get started. So let's get the melee weapons out of the way first, because I think they're the easiest to get into the tier list, right? The rapier is just a pretty bad weapon overall. Of course, in quick play or lower rank lobbies, you can have a lot of fun with it and can dominate, but as soon as you run into an organized 3-stack, this will be completely useless. Since this will also be a meta tier list, I'll make the cut between B and C what I will think is usable or not usable in the ranked tournament mode. Everything from B upwards I think has a place in higher ranking, but anything from C or below is pretty much unusable. Same goes for the riot shield, and sledgehammer is probably even worse. At least with the light class you get some mobility, so you get close to enemies, you can get out after doing some damage. Riot shield gives you the protection of the riot shield, so you can actually close distance to your enemies. Sledgehammer does nothing. The only use case for sledgehammer is destroying buildings, but that doesn't put it quite up to the niche tier, because its only real use case is destroying buildings, but you have equipment that can do the same. So for me, sacrificing your gun for the sledgehammer is just not worth it. Again, it is super fun to play in quick play matches. It will never be seen in higher rank tiers. And the last one is the knife. It is very niche, but it has the one-shot potential. That's why I put it into the niche category. Otherwise, I would probably put it in C, but if your team knows how you play, if you're playing with premates that know your playstyle with the knife, they can capitalize on the one-shot potential you have. That's why I put it in niche tier. I don't think it will be seen very often. So yeah, with the melee guns out of the way, we actually get to, let's get to the slower firing ones. I mean, yeah. Okay, let's go with the sniper. It is C tier. It is good burst potential, but its DPS sucks. Then we have the Revo for the medium class. This is kind of an interesting weapon because it has a good burst potential if you hit headshots, but it's on the slower DPS size in total, just because you have 6 shots. And then after that you have quite a long reload. Maybe if you have insane aim and you consistently hit headshots with it, it can be an S tier weapon for you, but for the mass it will be A or maybe even a B tier. I'll put it for me in A. I've been consistent with it. I've win some gunfights, but yeah, it is not an S tier yet. The LH1 on the other hand is definitely an S tier weapon. It is hard to control, but has one of the lowest time to kill. It has a 1.33 second time to kill. That is the second lowest of all the weapons. There's only one gun that I will come to later that has a higher time to kill. It is hard to control, but it's so insanely high damage. You can easily hit shots on medium to even larger ranges. So it's the most versatile and it's fairly easy to control. It's definitely, I think, the best light gun you can use. Then we come to the pistol, what is also an S tier weapon. It is faster shooting than the LH1, less damage of course. It's close with 0.2 seconds in the time to kill. All the time to kill, I didn't mention that, is for a heavy that is 350 HP. Also with the pistol, you only need 10 shots, body shots onto a heavy build, and you still have 14 shots left. That is an insane amount of shots left, so you can still continue fighting after getting your first kill. While the LH1, while having a really high burst window, will only have 6 shots left. So you can miss a few shots and still kill a heavy without reloading. So the V95 is definitely the more consistent weapon that you can use. Let's get to the light shotgun. I think it's a C tier. It's just not good enough for ranked tournament, right? Because again, it's just very limited by the range you play. It has a good time to kill, but other than that, yeah, C tier. Let's get some medium guns in here. Let's start with the FK. The FK has, I think, the lowest time to kill of all the medium guns by 1.5 to 1.76 for the AKM and 1.8 for the revolver. But there's a big but. It's the magazine size. So if you hit all your shots on a heavy build, 14 body shots to kill. It is fast, but you only have 6 shots left. If you miss 6 shots, you're unlikely to kill that heavy before you need to reload. That's why it's making it's such an inconsistent weapon because of the low magazine size. That's why damage-wise, it deserves an S tier, just the magazine is pretty bad. That's why it's also kind of still an A tier, not moving down into B tier. But yeah, it's definitely not an S tier weapon. The AKM, on the other hand, is an S tier weapon, just because it is the best and most consistent gun for the medium class. It doesn't compare to the light guns. So the light guns are definitely on the top of the leaderboard. The AKM has a good time to kill with 1.76 seconds. And the biggest part about that is you have 18 shots left after killing a heavy. But that means you can also miss 50% of your shots and still kill your target. That alone just makes it an S tier weapon for consistency. Let's get into the shotgun of the medium build. I will put this into B tier. It is definitely a usable weapon, has some good damage right into the middle, and just good enough to be be used in ranked tournaments. Let's get some of the heavy guns. I definitely put Flamethrower in niche tier because of its AoE damage potential. Otherwise, I would still put it into D, but if you set up fights where you actually can hit all 3 enemies, if it's a fully chaotic fight, more than 3 enemies, this weapon is solid. If you start hitting 3, this is the fastest damaging gun in the game. In a 1v1, pretty much all weapons will beat you. That is why it's in niche tier. I don't think it will be seen in high ranks ever, but it could be fun to see. Now let's get to the nade launchers. Yeah, the heavy nade launcher is in the D tier, while the medium one is in C. It's just inconsistent again, that's why I think it falls down into the C tier. While the medium one is direct explosion, the heavy one bounces 1 time and then explodes on the second impact. Okay, light builds. So the M11 kind of hovers between A and B. It has good damage potential, but it feels kind of inconsistent to use it. With 1.43 second, it is actually pretty high up. That's why I think it still deserves the A tier, just because it's so much better than the guns of the other classes, but in the light build, it kind of falls into the lower ranking slots. Let's get into the M60, another good gun, consistent, but I think it doesn't deserve the S tier for the heavy. I might even put it into the B tier just because of its controllability and fairly low damage output. It is one of the slowest killing guns out there, but it has an insane magazine size, what kind of makes up for it. You're on high ranks, this doesn't cut it. And if they have a better gun, they will 90% of the time kill you first before you get the value of this increased magazine size. That's why I think it deserves a B tier. It is a very viable weapon in ranked tournament if you can control it. But yeah, the Lewis gun on the other hand goes into high A tier. It is a very consistent gun to use. It is kind of in the midfield of time to kill. It has enough bullets to kill 4 heavies. You need 14 body shots to kill heavy build. And that's why I think the M60 is not going over the Lewis gun, because it has more ammo. Well, we did put the FK below the AKM because of its magazine size, but you still have a magazine of 47 bullets. That is only 23 bullets, less than the M60. That's why it's a solid A tier. It's probably my most used gun. I would even put it into S tier. It is the best, or one of the best, heavy guns to use. These videos take a long time to make since I gather all the information by myself. So if you want to see more of this, consider hitting the subscribe button and leaving a like. It just motivates me so much to put in all the effort into bringing you the best videos I can make. Okay, let's wait with the shotgun until the end. because there's something spicy to that shotgun. The MP5. This kind of hovers between S and A tier. It has the same time to kill as the M11, and it's slightly faster than the V95. I think the V95 and the MP5 kind of interchangeable between A and S tier depending on your preference. If you're a controller player, the MP5 is your best bet on the light class. Just because the recoil is so manageable on a stick, it heavily benefits from the auto aim. So if you're a controller player, this is definitely an S tier weapon. But I think on PC, they share an even spot, but I would still put the pistol in higher. But yeah, definitely a solid weapon. I would put it as the highest in the A tier, just on the border to S tier. And now let's get to the shotgun. I'm kind of hovering between niche and S tier, but I will put it in the best slot of the niche tier. If you manage to force fight into close range, this gun is insane. It has the lowest time to kill with 0.91 seconds on a heavy kill. That is just nuts. That is 0.4 seconds faster than the next fastest killing gun. That is an insane increase in damage. And you use 4 shots and you still have 12 shots left in your magazine. You can destroy teams with that gun 1v3 easily if you fight in close range. It doesn't deserve the S tier just because as soon as a team sees you running the shotgun, they will play on longer ranges against you, at least in high tier lobbies. If you're like somewhere in the middle ground, go for this gun. Force indoor fights, force close range enclosures, and you will just melt through entire teams. It's just not as versatile to deserve the S tier. Crazy strong. If you learned something new about the guns, please leave a like and maybe even hit that sub button. It helps smaller channels like me tremendously. Did I put your favorite gun in the lower tiers of this list, or did you get some insight of why some guns are stronger than others? I would really like to hear your opinion in the comments. Now, you can go back to ranked and climb even higher than before. Keep up the grind. Huh? Okay.